Okay, all right. Well, it's the time has caught up with us here. It's 12:30, and let's see. Let me look at my my agenda here. Well, it says it's time to call to order the oldest Lions Club in the world. So we are in business. Welcome to everyone. I'm Rudy Munguia, the president, and so we will move on. And I think, well, I know that today our host is Leonor. So Leonor, as always, would you remind us of our Zoom procedures, please?
Hi, everybody. Yeah, so Zoom procedures, pretty easy. So keep yourself muted so we avoid the background noise. When you are talking, if you have a TV on or a radio, please switch it off because we can hear it. Other than that, you're able to mute and unmute yourself as needed, but only the speaker will be unmuted, of course. And then when we open for questions, you can unmute yourself. That's it. Thank you, Rudy.
All right, thank you, Leonor. Okay, it's time for our pledge. And if you're able, please stand. And Leonor, if you will have the words on the screen, I will lead the pledge today. And so if everyone is ready, let's begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And now the pledge to the Texas flag. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible. Yeehaw! All right. Thank you. Well, again, thank you for all of you that are joining us today, and welcome. Do we have any guests? And Leonor, again, if you will help me identify those that may raise their hand.
I think the only guest is yours.
All right. Okay. Well, let me have the pleasure of introducing my grandson, Lucas Parker. Lucas, if you'll wave, please. Yeah, there he is. Thank you. Yeah, Lucas is joining us, and he will have a little part in the agenda a little bit later. Okay. If any other guests join us. Oh, ma'am, are you raising your hand?
I am. I noticed that Kit Thompson has joined us. They're friends of Sid and Chuck, and so they are potential members. And so I welcome him to our club meeting today.
Thank you for noticing that. Thank you, and welcome to Kit. And
we will just need
uh,
to find out the details.
Wonderful, wonderful. All right, I think that's a very positive sign there. So thank you so much. All right, we are moving on then, and let me get to announcements. Alan, let me ask if Alan Ford is on. Alan, are you on, and will you be able to make some comments here concerning your project?
Sure, Rudy.
Yeah. Yeah, Alan, before we do that, let me ask Leonor if she will share screen those photos from Meals on Wheels. And while the photos are up, then Alan can catch us up a little bit on his project concerning LCI.
Thank you. Well, LCI, as you all know, is having a virtual international convention this year. And as a component of that, they have planned a service showcase, and they have invited all the Lions clubs to submit short videos in the 5 to 10 minute range telling a story about the service activity of the club. And the only thing that we had coming up to shoot video on was our Friday work for Meals on Wheels, which amounts to just a couple of hours every so often, but it's fairly intense service, and it's very important to Meals on Wheels to have organized groups like ours who are acquainted with each other and used to working together to be able to work as a team to handle these loadout stations for their volunteers who will be delivering food to clients all over the Central Texas area. The story that we will tell in this video is basically that from about 2016 to 2019, our signature service project, I think you could say, was the vision screening. We had done that in a variety of different venues, all kinds of community events, and also through arrangement with the Austin Public Schools, we had been doing it for all the pre-K 3 and 4-year-olds. And then 2020 came along, and we had to find a new avenue for our service activities. And the opportunity was created by the fact that we already had some people, I think led by Lion Leonor, who were doing volunteer work for Meals on Wheels of Central Texas. And they had this new way of operating where now, instead of delivering hot meals directly to their clients on an almost daily basis, they are delivering packaged foods every other Friday, I believe. And it requires that a lot of this stuff is refrigerated or frozen, has to be distributed rather quickly. So that's where we come in. So we'll tell a little bit of that story. And I was able to shoot quite a bit of video of the activity as the vehicles were being loaded. I also got a little video of the volunteer briefing from Jason Kamamoto, describing how the operation works. And then afterward, JP and I were able to find their director of volunteer services and shot an interview with her. It wasn't planned the way I would have liked to have done it to elicit the kind of sound bites we like. So essentially, what we have though is about 10 minutes of run-on sentence that really, really praises the Lions Club for our work there. They really do appreciate what we do. And I am picking out some of the best sound bites from that to use in the video. I wish I had something ready to show you right now, but I've got until midnight tomorrow night to finish editing this video. And I had a couple of other little emergencies come up earlier this week, but I think I'm on track, and we will wrap it up, of course, with some final remarks. JP has volunteered to narrate a little bit of introductory remarks and something to close out about the importance of staying flexible, and when we're unable to carry on a service activity, look for opportunities to pivot and exercise our energy somewhere else. Thank you.
Thank you, Alan. That's a great update, and look forward to seeing how that final product will look like. And I know LCI will be very thrilled with receiving this. Let me move on then to the well, first of all, Leonor, thank you for sharing those pictures. I hope those that participated last week, thank you to all of you. And I hope that you identified yourself in there. Leonor, can you show one more picture? Can you show that picture of Siva? If that, if you can locate that and show the single picture of Siva. I just want to see if you can do that. Well, while you're trying to bring that up, let me move on to the next announcement. Just a reminder that this Saturday is the district convention in Taylor. Thank you to our 9 delegates that are participating. And I know that will be an enjoyable and informative session. Also want to remind our members that part of our service project is providing meals to namesake schools. To okay, I see the photos are coming up. If you can find Siva, yeah, there's Siva. And the reason I wanted to show Siva is to let Chuck Mandelbaum see his jacket on display here. Siva had the pleasure of wearing a vest, I should say, that we borrowed from Chuck and also from Sid. So there is Chuck's contribution to our Meals on Wheels. And thank you, Chuck, and thank you, Siva. All right, thank you.
Let me just tell you that the reason why it wasn't there before, it was the only one that I couldn't download from your pictures. I don't know why. So that's why it didn't show in the first round.
All right, thank you so much. All right, I think we need to move back into our agenda, and wanted to say that this coming week concerning the meals, the appreciation meals that we are providing to our namesake schools, we have 3 schools coming up this week. We have Garcia Young Men's Leadership Academy on Monday. We have Jake Pickle Elementary School on Wednesday. And our final school will be on Friday, and that will be Carl Widane Elementary School. So this again is a reminder and a thank you to our board and to our membership that is supporting this this very much appreciated effort from our club to these namesake schools. All right, let me then look at the next item. This is a new item that I want to report, that I am considering forming a committee to explore the possibility of when and where we might begin meeting as a club in person. We are all aware of what's in the news, and thankfully feel like things are beginning to move in a positive direction. But whether and when and where we might be able to actually have an in-person meeting is why I am proposing this idea that I would like to form a committee. And if you, so I will be reporting later on where we are with that, but that I just want to provide that information concerning wanting to be sure that our Lions Club is able and ready to move ahead when all the signs are pointing in the right direction. Having said that, I need to move on to the next item, and I'm going to ask Lion Patty Robinson to give us a little bit of information concerning one of our important fundraisers that we're planning for later this year, and that's our casino night. So Patty, if you will unmute and let us get an update, please.
Yes, we have reserved the Red Oak Ballroom to the Norris Conference Center for casino night on April 24th, 2021. From 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. We need support with silent auction items and sponsors, but I don't have any literature to give you right now about the sponsor groups.
Patty, sorry, you said April 24. I'm assuming you said you mean September 24.
I'm sorry, I did write down April 24th. I meant September. September 24th. Thank you very much, Leonore.
All right, thank you. Well, you were thinking of somebody important's birthday on April 24th. Don't want to name any names. Hello, but anyway, I think it is September. So thank you, Leonore, for that correction. Okay, and so we have that a fun event, an important event as a fundraiser. So we'll be getting more information on that a little bit later. All right, I believe those are all our announcements, and we are ready to. Well, we have no birthdays. I want to not miss our birthday. But we have no birthdays that are shown on our membership for this week. And now the next item on the agenda is something fairly new to our club. To the oldest Lions Club in the world, we're always happy to have young folks join us and be part of the agenda. And so it is that we have on the agenda Lucas Parker. Lucas, as I mentioned earlier, is my grandson, Gloria and I's grandson, our oldest grandson. And he has in his young life, he already has a wonderful history with the Lions Club. And today he's gonna add a little bit more to what he has already been doing. So Lucas, if you will, please, would you go ahead and tell us a little bit about what you have in mind for today?
Hi there, I'm Lucas Parker. I'm Rudy's grandson.
Yeah, Lucas, we can't hear you too well. Can you get closer to the mic?
Can you hear me now?
Still very low, but
if that's a problem, go ahead. Yeah. We could hear you. It was just a little bit lower in volume.
Can you hear me now if I get closer to mic?
Yeah, perfect.
Yes, that's
Okay, I was gonna try
better.
to join my
Thank you.
phone, but all right. So my name is Lucas Parker. I'm Rudy's grandson, and I'm currently a senior at St. Andrew's Upper School. My high school has a tradition where the seniors take the last month off the school, and they do a project. My month-long project would be, involves helping the Texas Lions Camp. And I've helped the Texas Lions Camp for almost 4 years now. I've gone to several work days over the past few years. I've joined the Leo's Club, hosted by Patty Robinson. And my most recent work day, I talked with Mr. Glenn Wilson, and he was the director of client services at Texas Lions Camp. He was telling me about how I could offer my services over the next month. And he was asking me to construct these carnival games, specifically like shooting galleries and cornhole. And so over the course of the next month, I'm going to be making these various things, such as like a dueling tree. I have giant sketches here that I made. Dueling trees, shooting gallery, and cornhole to make for the campo this summer. This morning, I created a materials list and tried to calculate the price of all this. And it came out to be about $500, which is very pricey for a senior project. And so I would greatly appreciate it if the Austin Lions Club would support me and sponsor me in this endeavor in creating this project for the Texas
Lucas,
Lions.
you need to keep the microphone real close to your mouth.
How much of that did you get?
Not much.
Not much. All right. Over the next few months, I'm going to be building things for the Texas Lions Camp, and like the picture I showed you, which is what they have requested of me. And it came out to be this morning. I made a materials list, and it was very pricey. And so I was wondering if I could get a sponsorship from the from the Austin Lions Camp. Did all that stick that time?
Yeah, Lucas.
Yes, it did.
What we're understanding is that you are going to build some, is it carnival type amusement booths for the Texas Lions Camp?
Yes, there's that photo I showed you earlier, or the drawing I did.
Yeah, can you put,
which is
yeah,
this
can you put up that photo or that sketch that you just did a little bit closer, and maybe just so
I don't
that
know
we
how in
can
focus that is.
It's clear.
Yeah, I think we can see it.
I have other sketches, but those are too small to show on camera. But basically what they requested of me is games to use with toy guns. So I am building that dueling tree that I showed on there. That is a game for them. For like game where they can compete against each other. The shooting gallery is just like practicing your aim. And cornhole is something that they've requested because this summer they're bringing families to the camp as well. And they're going to have a lot of downtime. So things like cornhole just to play on their own is something that they've requested.
Okay, well, let me, are you open to questions, Lucas, or can we ask you a few questions?
Oh yes, I'm open to questions.
Okay, well, thank you very much for that presentation. Let me see if anyone
I'm getting questions in the chat
for Lucas. Yeah, if you'll raise your hand, please. Yeah.
Wondering if Lucas could take a picture of that sketch or maybe scan it and connect it to the chat. That way everybody can take a look at it. That's helpful.
I can send it. Yeah, I'll take a picture.
Hey, Lucas, go ahead and answer the question, please, on the chat. And then JP, after he answers that, you can go ahead.
I estimated the cost to be about $450. Right now, wood is extremely expensive, which is very unfortunate for me, but I got it about $450.
JP, go ahead.
I didn't really have a question. I just wanted to make a comment. Lucas went with us on the workday 1st of April. And he expressed at the time what he might be able to do, or asked what he might be able to do. And Rudy and I collaborated to get him to repaint the big bell that's down there that our club refurbished. Oh, I don't know, Tommy, 7, 8 years ago, something seemed like it was. And the paint had started to fade, so it looked kind of drab. Lucas knows how to climb a ladder, and he knows how to wield a paintbrush. He did a very fine job, and that bell looked like it was refurbished again, like it was when we put it back down there 6, 7, 8 years ago. So wanted to publicly thank Lucas and commend him for the work that he did for us. For the camp.
Thank you for that.
And in the meantime, in the chat, Lucas, you already have $250 pledged.
Oh, thank you very much.
All right. Well, Gloria and I will pledge an equal amount, another $100. So, okay. Well, any other questions? Well, let me.
If my addition is correct on the chat bar, we got $550 now.
Oh.
If there's excess money, the school also did request extra toy guns, so I'll go find some to bring to them too.
We have
Well,
450 on the chat, already adding, no, 500 on the chat just now with Chuck. So that's a total 500.
Yeah.
Well, thank you all very much.
Well, thank you. Thank you for those that are donating. Lucas, I'm not on the chat, but did you put the information of how to make out the check and where to send it?
Yes, I will type that in a minute.
Sorry, you were
Okay.
correct, JP. We have $600. I had missed John Niefler's.
I haven't been wrong too many times with numbers.
Lucas, you're good to go.
Well, thank you all that contributed. Let me add just this little bit.
Since we're not meeting in person, how do we get the money to whoever is going to manage it from the club? Just mail it to them.
I will put my address and who to make it out to in the chat.
Will that work for everybody?
Well, it'd probably be best if we get one check from the club. So why don't we just all send it to our box number, and then Jim Robinson can write one check.
Rudy.
Yes,
Rudy,
yes.
This is
Ann.
Ann. Yes, when we do things like this in the past, Jim has asked that we run the money through the club.
Yes.
So we should make the check out to Austin Founder Lions Club and mail them to the PO box, and then we will write a check to Lucas.
And the money won't go to the activity fund. It'll go through the administrative fund.
Yeah,
Administrative.
I'll send an information to all that have pledged the money to where to send the check and the address and all that. Okay.
Sounds great.
Thank you, Ann. Wow. It's nice. It's nice to get back on track. So thank you, Ann. I did want to add this little bit to the story about Lucas. Lucas, this is not his first time to be with us in a Lions Club meeting. He was 1 year old when I became president in 2004, and Lucas won't remember all the details, but he sat on his parents' lap while I was being inducted as president. So that and other activities that he referred to, he's got his career is building already, and has some nice experiences to fall back on. So thank you so much for those that participated. Lucas, thank you again for your presentation, and we will be in touch with you concerning how all this works about the check being sent to you. All right. Well, we need to move on then. And Ann is going to introduce and be our speaker, be our program today. So Ann, let me go ahead and turn it to you, and we are ready for our program. So Ann, please.
Okay, thank you, Rudy. And I want to say thank you to everybody who participated. We're going to start the PowerPoint in just a moment, but I want to say we have a lot of ground to cover in a short period of time. So it's going to go kind of fast. Let me find my thing. Okay. Okay. Now let me get this going. Wait just a minute. Oops. Slideshow. From beginning. Okay, there we go. Everybody seeing the screen okay? Okay. Well, several of us were talking, and you have ideas that you think about and you go, gosh, that's a great idea. Maybe we could do that. Or you go to a conference, some of the Lions conferences that I've attended, have many of you, you sit around and you talk and you go, wow, that's a really great project. I wonder maybe we could do that. Or you get some new ideas for fundraisers. And so I was talking to the program committee and suggested that maybe we should do a program and see about having members submit ideas for or new ideas. So anyway, that's what we're going to do today. There will be some times in the presentation where you're going to get the opportunity to vote. And we're going to need to do this quickly because we've got a lot of things to go through, and I'll walk you through the polls as we come to them. But just be ready to participate. And so that means you're going to need to scroll when we get into the polls, and then you'll select your answer. But I'm sure some of you are sitting there going, well, why should we look at anything new? We've got great service projects, and once COVID is over, everything can get back to normal. Well, that's true. But I would make the argument that the Austin Founder Lions Club in 2021 is not the club that it was in 1990 or even in 2010. Certainly Austin today is not the town it was 20 years ago, or the city it was even 3 years ago. And we always are talking about recruiting new members and younger members. Well, younger potential members want to make the world a better place with projects that resonate with them. And one that certainly does is the environment. And I think, as you know, that Lions have 5 areas of service, and environment is one of those 5 areas. And we have not been super active in that area. So I think it's kind of exciting to look at what we might do focusing on the environment. And I do want to give you these little caveats. Realize that any project that the club could take on is going to take time to research and develop it, and its ultimate implementation could be delayed by COVID. We also had a number of people, as they submitted their ideas, talk about how that they would increase the visibility of the club, and that in turn fuels membership growth. And I think we all can agree that those are good things to try to do. And so, as I said, we're going to be polling today, and it's just to determine whether these topics should be further explored. After we explore them, we may go, gosh, that's just not feasible. But we want to find out today what you might be interested in. Okay. As this very first poll that we're going to do in a minute is going to ask you to consider these guidelines, because if we don't know kind of what our criteria are for evaluating the projects, it's kind of difficult to know if we're all on the same page. So here are some of the questions that occurred to me. And this is in fact reflects the ideas that were submitted. Does Austin Founder Lions Club want to serve outside the Austin community, especially if there are Lions clubs in some of those other communities? How would serving in another community benefit us? Will it help us grow our membership? Do Austin Founder Lions want to target underserved communities and unmet needs? Do we want more opportunities to do actual service, actual hands-on service, rather than just make a financial contribution? And I think one of the benefits about partnering with some of the organizations that you're going to see suggested here is that many of those nonprofits have boards whose members could be targeted as potential Lions Club members for us. There are some pretty influential, maybe not the movers and shakers that many of us know from their leadership roles, but up and coming movers and shakers. Some other things to think about: how much red tape would be involved with the activity or a project? I know last year there was one idea that we were looking at doing, and it was just too much of a hassle. There were too many things we had to do and decided not to do it. Will recipients benefit directly? And where can our club make the maximum return on its investment through things that's... Leonore, could you take the poll down, please, for just a second? Leonore, could
you
you
can put your cursor over it and move it out of the way.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm trying. Maybe I did it. Okay. Where can Austin Founder Lions make a difference within our core mission and service areas? And as I mentioned, we have those 5 areas of service: hunger, vision, the environment, diabetes, and pediatric cancer. So is the project within our wheelhouse, and are we addressing an unmet need? And finally, will our contributions be recognized or lost within a large pool of donors and service providers? So now let's look at that poll. Have we got the poll up? Oh, there we go. So does everyone see the poll? Assuming you do, select the answer that works best from your perspective. Do you think we should serve outside Austin? Yes, no, or you're not sure? You want to target underserved people with unmet needs? And you can just scroll down using the bar on the right. Do you want to do actual service instead of making financial contributions? Do we want to focus our service activities on LCI's core mission areas? Should the activities gain visibility for the club and help recruit new members? And should we put our resources where we can make the maximum impact? So we'll give everybody just a minute more to.
Hey, Leo, I'm not seeing the poll, and maybe that's because I closed it when it first came up. Sorry.
You should have something on your screen that says poll. Just click on it. It should come back up.
Polls. Oh, yeah. Well, mine's at the top.
Top left.
Yeah, it says polls.
Can you find it, Mac? You need to move your mouse, though, for anything to appear on your screen.
Is it under viewing? It didn't.
No, it's next to share screen, or well, it just says polls.
Well, I'm on share screen. And
Alongside it, doesn't it say something polls?
Well, I'm not getting it.
Well, there's nothing I can do.
Sorry.
I think
Yeah,
I
I've
sent you,
already submitted mine, all
I
of the
I
questions
think if
are
you click,
answered.
I think since you close it by clicking the X, I think it's going to be gone for this particular series of questions.
I think that's what happened was it came up and before Leonore took it down, I closed it. So
Yeah, so what you can do if it comes up again, it comes in front of your slides, just click with your mouse on top of it and drag it to the side, and then bring it back in once you're ready to answer it.
okay, sorry.
Okay, well, Mac, we'll let you vote offline. Okay, moving on. So has everyone voted?
I have 22 out of 27.
Okay, well, let's move on. We had, I want to say this before I get into the different service projects that were suggested. We had 14 members of the club submit ideas, and some people submitted multiple ideas. So we ended up with about 24 or 25 ideas. And I do want to thank everyone who took the time to do this. Environmental service projects actually had the most suggestions, and we have 5 to look at. And I do want to say that all of the projects are interesting. There's some really good ideas and a couple of them that I think are just really great. So we'll see what y'all think. This first project it requires a little explanation. It's a plastic film recycling challenge, and it's sponsored by Trex. And you're probably going, well, what does that mean? Well, I'll come back to that. Here's a picture of the kinds of plastic that you can't put these items in the Austin recycling, but there is a way to recycle these. And what we would do is we would collect these plastic bags and film. And during a 6-month collection time, if we collect 500 pounds or more of plastic film and bags, we've met the challenge. And the reward is that we get a bench that we can have placed wherever we want, a school, a hospital, a park, whatever. And we can have a plaque put on that bench. We would have to purchase the plaque, but that would give us a lot of visibility. It would be a great environmental project, and it requires very limited investment. Mainly the big thing is we would educate our friends and neighbors and family to collect these plastics. We pick them up, and then you have to weigh, report, and deliver them. And there are some local places that accept the plastic for recycling. And then we submit the report each month to Trex, and you have 6 months to collect the 500 pounds. So that seems like a really kind of neat multi-benefits project. So that's number 1. Second project selected or suggested was creating an environmental service award. And we would give a cash award to some organization that a group of our Lions would select, and they would either have a project that they're doing or they would have a specific need. It could be an annual award that would rotate from year to year to the different organizations. And we as a club would volunteer to help the selected organization on their service project. And hopefully we would target underserved communities, clean up in underserved communities, or some way make sure that we're getting to parts of Austin that really need it. So that was another idea. Another really good idea, sponsor a boulevard. I'm not sure if this is done through the chamber or who, but there's a way that we would be designated as a sponsor for a particular street or avenue. And our job would be to enhance and maintain the landscaping. And we, in return, we would get to put up a sign noting that we sponsor that landscaping. And of course, this would be an ongoing effort. Another idea that was submitted is to volunteer and support the Austin Farm Sanctuary, which is located in Cedar Creek. And that organization seeks to create better relationships between people and farmed animals. And in specific, they're working to educate the community to the benefits of a plant-based vegan lifestyle, on the environment, and on personal health. And then the final idea in this section is volunteering at the Red Arena Hippotherapy Center for Disabled Children and Adults. It's located in Dripping Springs. They need people to groom horses, clean horse stalls, and sweep the barn aisles several hours a week. This fall, they're going to be starting a job training program for adults with disabilities, and I believe it's going to be in the barn, and they're going to be looking for people to serve as buddies to the adults being trained. And then also in the fall, they're looking at starting a craft activities, and they would be looking for people to lead weekly or monthly craft activities. And Leonora, I believe we're ready for the poll. Okay, so what we're going to let you do here, you're going to go through each one of these and you vote thumbs up. You think it's a good idea, it's worth further exploration. Thumbs down, you don't think it's a great idea, or you're not sure. And so we'll go through all of these. The plastic bag recycling challenge with Trex. Creating the Environmental Service Award and partnering with an organization on that. Sponsor a boulevard or an avenue, doing the landscaping. Austin Farm Sanctuary Service in Cedar Creek, that's helping with the farm animals. And the Red Arena Hippo Therapy Center in Dripping Springs. So mark your choices and submit your poll. Give it just another minute.
We're at 16 people so far.
Okay, if you want
All
to
of those
vote.
have done it.
I'm going to move to the next slide, but y'all
You're gonna
get
still
your
leave it
votes
there,
in.
yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Okay. We're not going to be polling in this particular area. We had 3 people suggest a very similar idea, and it's kind of a combination of environmental and hunger. And basically, it deals with helping people who are homeless or unemployed become employable and getting a job, so that in turn they earn money, which will enable them to buy food and relieve their food insecurity. There were a couple of suggestions on ways to help these people get off the streets, which also improves the look of the city and the environment. It was suggested we could possibly use some of our retired professionals to coach people maybe who are retraining to get a job. Maybe they need some help with resumes. Possibly the club could provide vision screening and follow-up care for some of the clients at these different organizations, because being able to see is really important to getting a job. Another idea was to support organizations like Community First Village, Better Together, and Mosaic Street Ministry that help homeless people transition to homes and jobs. And what this would involve is really having collection drives of things that they need. And that could be things like non-perishable food, hygiene products, clothing, and do this on a monthly basis. So those are three ideas that are very similar. Oops. Let's see. There we go. In the area of vision, we've got 4 ideas, and really and truly all of these are just building on the current program that we already have. We've got a great thing going. How can we maybe make it better? One idea is to renew the cooperative effort to provide eyeglasses to needy students in AISD. And this project involves all the Austin clubs in the AISD service area. And many of you know we are currently holding the funds that JP was able to recover. And those funds were given for this specific purpose, and they cannot be used for any other reason. And this is a project that we do in coordination with the AISD Vision and Hearing Testing Service. So that would be a way to expand on what we're doing with the AISD schools. Another person suggested that our Lions and other Lions work to encourage the Texas legislature to pass a bill that changes the way public schools test children for vision impairments. And specifically, we want them to use more modern methods like the spot camera. A couple of ideas related to expanding our community vision screening. One is to seek out more large community events like the reenactment days at Camp Mabry, events at the libraries, or the free first Sundays at the Bullock Museum, assuming they resume those after COVID. So those are some great ideas. And then also revamping the home page of our website to promote community vision screening and make it very easy for organizations and other people to request our service. And the comment was made that vision is the Lion's top brand, and we should incorporate it into everything we do where possible. So those are some great ideas to consider going forward. Then in the area of diabetes and pediatric cancer, we have 2 similar ideas were submitted. One idea for resuming a past activity and one somewhat related idea, or maybe 2 somewhat related ideas. So anyway, I'm going to run through these. We're not going to vote on these either, but I think you'll see why in a minute. Plus, some of the responses we got from those the first poll will help evaluate what to do in this area. 2 people suggested partnering with nonprofit organizations that serve special needs children. One of those organizations mentioned was Helping Hand Home for Children, which it's a facility for children that have faced unimaginable abuse and neglect. They have wish lists, and we could help collect supplies for them, as well as offer vision screening for the kids. Another idea involved working with groups like the Austin Supported Living Center, which is what the Austin State School is now called, and then another group called Creative Action. Vision screening could be provided for these groups, as well as putting on some parties and things to make the lives of these children who are often neglected to make their life better. So that's one idea. We also, it was suggested resuming serving meals at the Ronald McDonald House. And of course that would have to be when COVID is over. There was a suggestion to work with the diabetic alert service dogs. There is a place in Dripping Springs, Bobby, Colorado Canine Camp. Although I have to say, looking at the website, it appears that this is a business, not a nonprofit organization, but it is possible they do have a nonprofit affiliated with them. We'd have to check. And then there's also potential opportunity to collect items for an oncology group that serves children with cancer, or raise funds for specific medical equipment. And so really some of these ideas we would have to get a little bit more information before we can really weigh in. Now, these ideas are really exciting. We have 4 what I consider thinking outside the box ideas. And this first one, it's going to be very obvious who it's from. It's from our dear friend, Fred Jinga, Lion Fred has gone back to Uganda, but he sent this idea in, and I personally think it's great, and I'm ready to sign up. He's proposing an international service trip or a partnership with a Ugandan Lions Club. And you can see there, he talks about how LCI goes, it is an international organization, and that it is a real opportunity to see the full breadth and scope of LCI in action. And we could partner with Lion Fred and his Lions on projects that might include health, education, or peace. So I thought that was really great. And I'm glad to know that he's still getting our email and still interested and involved with our club. Another great idea we got was to partner with Bookspring. Some of you may remember Bookspring came and did a program for us. And this nonprofit focuses on building literacy skills and motivating children to read. And they need help with collecting children's books. They need volunteers to assist with sorting and bundling the books, reading aloud, facilitating programs, delivering books. It might also be possible to partner with them to do a vision screening. We had a similar idea of holding a book drive and providing books to underserved groups and facilities. We had a couple of ideas related to assisting senior citizens to enhance their quality of life. Again, one of our programs was Age of Central Texas, and they are looking for people to be pen pals. You can write letters to some of their clients, or you can do one-time cards, just like holiday cards, Easter or Valentine's Day or something. Another suggestion was creating gift baskets for the nursing home residents. And we might put in those gift baskets some items that we collect, such as hygiene products, cards, dominoes, puzzles, other games. But this would be supporting some people who may be overlooked. And then we had 2 ideas related to supporting youth. One was to work with local high schools to promote or fight substance abuse. And the idea was to bring in business people and emphasize the impact that substance abuse has on students' abilities to learn and how that affects their career perspectives. And that's certainly a worthwhile thing. Another idea is to create a grant program for the AISD classroom teachers to help fund specific classroom projects. And those awards would be presented at schools' PTA meetings. And we could take the money we're using with the namesake schools and the sportsmanship money and maybe increase it. We'd limit the grants, we'd set up the criteria, and we could give weight to namesake school applicants. So Leonore, I believe we're ready for the next poll. There we go. So get your cursors ready and go down through here and give a thumbs up, thumbs down, or not sure. Trips or service with the Uganda Lions Club, the book partnering with Bookspring, assisting senior citizens, helping fight drug abuse in the schools, creating a grant program for AISD teachers for classroom projects. So mark if you're thumbs up, thumbs down to further explore those ideas, or you're not sure. Okay. How are we doing, Leonore?
We're at 18, so at 20. So I'm going to leave it on for a little bit longer and then just keep going and then we'll put the other one up.
Okay, well, we got one, if I can get my thing to go. There we go. We had 5 events suggested as new fundraising ideas. And I'm going to run through these real quickly and then we'll take a quick poll on these. And here are those events. Sponsor a car show. We have other clubs in the district that are doing them and making very successful fundraisers out of them. This is an interesting idea. Sponsor a sports competition for people from other countries with an interest in sports that are not traditionally popular in the US. These athletes might like a competition. That sounds like a real unmet need. We had another suggestion of holding a karaoke or improv night similar to last year's casino night. Another idea was to sponsor a trivia night contest and make it a fundraiser. And then another idea was to sell peaches in the summer, perhaps partnering with the Cedar Park Lions Club, which does that. So those were the ideas for fundraising. So Leonore, let's put the next poll up and let's go through it, everybody, and do a quick thumbs up, thumbs down, or you're not sure. So we got the car show idea. We've got the sports competition. We've got the karaoke or improv night. We've got the trivia contest and the peaches. So mark your poll, whether you think it's a good idea, thumbs up, thumbs down, or not sure.
We're at 20 already.
Okie doke. Well, here's what the next steps are going to be. Any of these ideas, as I mentioned, that we decide to pursue will be in the next year. And in a moment, I'm going to call on Lion Glenda, who will be president next year. She's going to have a few things to say, but let me just tell you what the immediate next steps are. We're going to compile the results. We're coming up right on our time, so I knew we wouldn't have time to share them today, but we're going to compile the results and share them with all of you and the entire membership. Then working with Glenda, we're going to look through the results. We're going to maybe choose the best of the best ideas that were submitted, you know, your thumbs up, and send it out and give everybody in the club an opportunity to weigh in. And then we'll have one more round of voting sometime in the future where we'll share what the results were and we will poll to set some priorities. If we end up with 5 ideas, we may pick the top 2. But anyway, I think this has been great. I really appreciate all of you for participating in not only sharing your ideas, but also voting in the polls. And at this time, I want to call on Lion Glenda. She has just a couple of comments to make. Glenda?
Well, first I want to, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I want to thank Anne for all this hard work. This is an incredible amount of information that she has put together. And I think there's something for everyone. And what I'm excited about is that it gives more opportunities. Some of these things like the recycling to make a bench, you know, that really resonated with me. So I think that maybe something or several things resonated with you. And if we can get the excitement going and get other people involved and interested, I think this can really help and energize our organization for the next year. And once again, thank you, Anne. It's just, you've done a fabulous job.
Well, thank you, Glenda. It was fun. And all of you are the ones who submitted these great ideas. So I thank all of you for your support and participation, and there's more to come. Thank you, Rudy.
All right, thank you, Anne. Well, goodness. How can we thank you enough for just kind of bringing a little bit more focus on what we as a Lions Club can are able to do. So thank you, thank you, thank you. We'll look forward to those. You're sharing those results with us here next week or so. All right. Let me ask this. I know we're out of time, but let me ask. That was so important that what Ann just did. Are there any comments from those that are still joining us? Anybody want to add an additional comment? We don't have much time, but maybe one or two comments.
Rudy?
Yes.
Gaylord. It's hard to make this brief. That is tremendous work, and as has been said, but I know that this can chart a lot of the future for the club, and particularly as we try to reach out for sustaining new members, younger, middle-aged people. Bottom line, it seems to me a lot of these are worth a lot of discussion, and hopefully we'll be able to start meeting again in person, maybe since this will be part of Glenda's agenda, take a little time each meeting to discuss some of the preferred options to understand them a little bit more. Several had great purposes to them, but it sure be helpful to understand more. And I wasn't able to complete some of the polls before they closed, and that's my fault. But I think it sure, these are such great ideas, and Ann's put so much research and work into it. Some additional discussion of individual ones and how it fits the club and how we can accomplish what it seems to me would be worth thinking about for the future meetings.
Okay, thank you, Gaylord. Maybe one more comment if someone would like to say something.
A quick something, Rudy. For those of you who weren't able to do your polls, if you still want to do it, just stay with me after the meeting and I'll get your answers in. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Leonore. Any other comments?
Rudy, I just want to quickly say, Gaylord is exactly right. We need to know and understand these projects much more in depth. This is just the first level. This is a high level. Does this sound like something we want to do or not? And then once we narrow that down, we go from 24, 26 ideas, maybe down to 8. We study those, and then we come back and we say, okay, looking at all these factors, these are the best 3, and we think we can do them. So this was just stage 1 of a process.
Okay, yeah, that's a good comment, and we'll need to close for now with that. And but thank you again for this amazing, wonderful work that you have provided to the Lions, and a lot of food for thought. So, okay, let me just ask Mac. I don't think Greg Harkrider, who will be our presenter next week, is with us, but Mac, if you're still joining us, can you say something about next week's program, please?
Yeah, actually, yeah, next week we're going to have an Olympian. And John Niefler, are you still? Yes. Hello,
yes,
John.
I'm here. Our speaker next week is Raisin McIntosh. She is CEO and creative director of her not-for-profit Raisin in the Sun. She is a visionary and creative person. She is a United States Olympic competitor, and she comes with a career in specializing in community and arts initiatives and cross-disciplinary collaborative work and as an improvement in the community. So I'll look forward to having Raisin McIntosh be with us next week.
Wonderful, wonderful, and thank you for that. So, and with that, I believe we have completed our agenda for today. A wonderful meeting. Thank you for all that participated, and again, our thanks to Ann for her wonderful work and and plate that she has provided for our lines to munch on. All right, having said this, we thank everyone for joining. Y'all have a good week, and we are adjourned. Y'all enjoy.